in Uganda, as Justin Nakami reports.
What are those principles that guide your actions?
In a mentorship Easter retreat at Cornerstone Training, a leadership institute in Nakasongola, Dr. Patricia Achan, Deputy Inspector General of Government, emphasized the crucial role of integrity in fighting corruption and building a prosperous nation.
Corruption is sin. If we appreciate the reason for the season, then we desist from corruption. I encourage Ugandans out there to pass a message of hope to people and say together we can do it. If we can come out and report cases of corruption, if we can come out and clean our spaces of corruption, then we are going to have a different country.
She stressed the importance of youth harnessing their skills and professions to contribute to the development of ethical businesses, thus promoting transparency and accountability in society.
If as a lawyer I'm out there and I'm articulating these values of integrity, walking the talk and preaching this and demonstrating it by my work, everybody will see and know that Patricia is truthful, Patricia is honest, Patricia is upholding integrity. So I'm trying to let these children know that it is very, very important. The significance of values is far-reaching. I emphasize mainly humility, because there are people who, when they get to law school, they are taken up by pride, or they graduate, they think they have arrived, and yet the world has a lot to offer out there.
As Easter approaches, Dr. Chan urges Christians to focus on Jesus as the reason for the season.
The cross of Christ reminds us of the work of Christ on our behalf. It reminds us of the price he paid for our redemption as Christians. Whether we wear it for a show, whether we display it as fetish, or just think about it, the cross should draw us nearer to the one who hung on it. So I urge all Ugandans to focus on Christ, because he has the ultimate message. He is the reason why we are celebrating Easter.
The director of Cornerstone Schools highlights how such retreats instill principles and values in students, benefiting them not only in school but also in their future workplaces.
The aspect of integrity is just trying to bring up young people to just go into the systems wherever life takes them and just be the light and the salt in those systems to make a difference and try and bring down the levels of corruption that are really hurting the development of our countries.
Several alumni from this institute who have attended these retreats testify about their positive experiences.
Life is not just really being successful. Life is not just, amassing wealth. Life is about impacting your neighbor, living your life for other people, impacting your family, but also to build for your soul when you return to God. So these retreats usually help us reconnect with people that share the same values with us. That's integrity, living for each other, leadership.
Such Easter retreats are organized for these youths annually. Justin Nakami and Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
Newly appointed Minister for Northern Uganda, Dr. Kenneth Omona, has been tasked to reduce the high levels of poverty in Northern Uganda. Northern Uganda is one of the ranked poorest regions in the country, with 75% of people in the region not affording 3 meals a day and not having decent housing. These remarks were made by politicians, cultural leaders and people hailing from Northern Uganda during Dr. Omona's welcome party to the region, as Philip Aguta reports.
Politicians, cultural leaders and friends of Dr. Kenneth Omona, hailing from Northern Uganda, gathered at the home of Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs Norbert Mao in Lubowa to celebrate Dr. Omona's new appointment as Minister for Northern Uganda. The politicians from North welcomed the new minister and tasked him to work towards emancipating the region from the poor state it's currently in.
Anybody will speak about Northern Uganda. But I just want to tell you one thing. Go there leave the official statements you'll find in offices, leave the speeches, go down to the ordinary person. They will speak to you the real truth about northern Uganda.
This opportunity to really welcome our brother as he has been appointed by His Excellency the President.
Because as Uganda is talking about 39% of the poor people in the country, you must know that the people who are contributing 68% comes from northern Uganda. And that is what is confronting him now.
The same concerns were expressed by cultural leaders from all the cultural institutions in northern Uganda and tasked the new minister to come with workable solutions to reducing poverty in the area.
As cultural leaders, we want you to help us bring development. We really want us to bring development to the region.
And Dr. Omona, we are with you and we are ready to sit with you and to bring everything together, not in the old and colonized way mentality, but in a way that is going to work hard to realize the future.
The host minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mau, commended Dr. Omona for having served the president diligently as PPS.
But we are thanking you for the work you have done while the president's PPS. I think you opened up that office. You became very approachable. I could see ministers waylaying you with the envelopes. Make sure the president receives this. You know the things that ministers love to do.
Dr. Mona commended Norbert Mau for hosting his friends to the party, acknowledging the task ahead of him in his new docket.
So let's struggle to ensure that every Ugandan has something to lose. Now back to northern Uganda, a very poor part of the country, very poor. I have seen poverty myself. Many of you have never experienced poverty. There are still parts in northern Uganda where people use logs or molded mud as pillows. There.
Dr. Omona's family members commended the president for remembering their son, who has been the president's private secretary for 4 years. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Kampala.
Parliament and Cabinet have been called upon to support the fisheries sector in creating groups amongst the fishing community. State Minister for Fisheries, Helen Adoa, says that this will enable easy monitoring of illegal activities on the lake, even amongst fishermen themselves. Now, Adoa's plea comes in a few weeks after President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni hinted on withdrawing the army from the lakes, something the minister expresses reservations over.
This was President Yoweri Museveni arriving for the parliamentary campaigns of the just concluded by-elections in Dokolo district. Of concern came the reported army brutality on the lakes. The complaint advanced by the fishing community saw the president intimate on the matter.
And when the army comes in, they make their own mistakes. Therefore, in the month of May or June, I want you, the people who are near the lakes, to guide me, to get the elders of this area. They should be the ones to tell us who is spoiling the fish, so that the lake, so that the army can go away and the people themselves look after the...
Some mistakes may have been committed, but to what extent do they tantamount to army withdrawal from the lakes? In the years she has been State Minister for Fisheries, Helen Adoa has had several engagements with the fishing community. Her experience proves otherwise.
The soldiers are not in the lake only for the illegal fishing or to fight illegal fishing, but they are also there to protect the fishermen. Because the moment the soldier or security is not around the lake, I can tell you the fishermen themselves will fight one another. Our enemies will penetrate our fishermen.
Adoa holds a different opinion when it comes to the presence of the army on water bodies.
We still need the soldiers. What we can only do is to discipline individual soldiers who are, one, extorting money, two, still with aspect of beating the fishermen.
This is why she wants fishermen segmented into groups to complement army efforts in protecting the lakes.
My prayer is that cabinet and parliament supports me to put the fishermen in 2 groups per landing site. If I put them in groups per landing site, these groups of fishermen will jealously keep the area and will not allow illegal fishers. But the problem now is each person is struggling to get their own fishing gears, and they go to the lake the way they want.
Helen Adoa's appeals come barely weeks after she was recently retained in a mini cabinet reshuffle as State Minister for Fisheries.
We need to support the youth, support women with some special projects.
It is a role she intends to take on with renewed commitment and energy. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Ecstatic visions right there. Now, Uganda Investment Authority has launched the investment facilitation and protection campaign to enhance investor safety while implementing the National Development Plan, prioritizing industrialization. While launching this campaign in Namamve Industrial Park, the Director General of the authority allocated a portion of the land to a private company to establish an exhibition and business center. Details in this report.
The Investment Facilitation Protection Campaign intends to provide support to both domestic and foreign investors with informed overview on available investment incentive packages by the government.
But for a domestic investor, show us that you can invest at least $50,000, 175 million Uganda shillings in the factory here in the industrial park. Will give you free land. So really it's to say that the threshold is even lower for our domestic investors. Ugandans who know are really taking advantage here. But we want to continue to make that message, to get out of poverty, to support value addition in our country, to support the industrialization.
The exploitation of investors by fraudsters is another challenge to be handled during this sensitization campaign by the Uganda Investment Authority, especially during land acquisition in the industrial parks.
To drum that message that land in industrial parks is free, and also give you a direct number to the Director General to say if there is any saboteurs, any fraudsters coming to you, call me directly so that I can solve those issues in 7 days. So if you want land in an industrial park, it is free.
The authority plans to engage Labour Ministry to harmonize the wage issues of Ugandans employed in these industrial parks and assessment of working conditions.
So any incentive to an entity that is going to come into an industrial park into value addition for jobs, we shall do that. I think the incentive is geared towards that, jobs. So if a factory here has an incentive of free land, but he has 500 jobs, those are 500 Ugandans that we have given jobs. So we should also put our incentives, localize them to our people. We need to find jobs for our fellow Ugandans, our youth, globally, and they will do that for us. What we do, let us attract the investor, let us have them here, but work with our sister entities, Ministry of Labour and Gender, to also ensure that the pay for our people is up to standard. But let us get the jobs first.
Uganda Investment Authority has allocated 3,000 square meters of land to Masterwood Investment Limited in Namamve Industrial Park to establish an exhibition and business center for products showcasing produced in specific industrial parks.
In showcasing what they do within their factories. Oftentimes it is very difficult to go knocking on each and every door of the factory to know what they are producing. But when there is an exhibition center like this, each of them can get space and exhibit what they produce. And it enables the community and everyone interested to know that such and such items is produced within this industrial park.
The authority calls for domestic investors with feasible investment plans, especially value addition, to get land and other available incentives. Abdul Nasser Lubwama for UBC.
My number, call me directly.
The State Minister for Youth and Children Affairs, Dr. Balam Barugahara, has warned parents against violating children's rights as well as marrying off underage girls. Balam issued the warning during a burial ceremony of one Richard Wambi, a former staff of External Security Organizing ESO at Magunda in Mbale district.
Born on 4th December 1967, Richard Wambi's candle blown out in this week. For that matter, hundreds of mourners have gathered at Magunda village in Mbale district to pay their last respects to the late.
The best thing you can give to your community is not money, but the quality of your children.
For all the speakers, including his close relatives, described Richard as the one who has been dedicated, talented and welcoming.
I've lost a friend, a best friend, and I don't know what to say, because we have really had good times and I appreciate that.
My husband had a musajja mulungi, ali kind. Musajja abadde humble.
It was so emotional as the widow recalled her last husband's moments, as children say this was the best father they have ever had.
Looking back personally, I see us taking the family livestock to Manafa River for watering when it was his turn. I see myself help him hold the bicycle as he loaded the jerrycans of milk for sale on a long ride to Mbale town. And on his return, I curiously waited for him to pass on my goodies sent from him by mom.
Nga friend yankubiri yakubese uti Richard yaguderi kukubo. Immediately nikubira boy nimugamba papa agudde afudde.
The State Minister in charge of Youth and Children Affairs, Balam Barugahara, attended the burial.
Mbasaba akalunga katuse. President Museveni wabanga achayagala ng'achayina amaanyi ageeyongera mu mwezi 10 ku 10 ku luno kuba yabawadde ne capital. Wanagamba nti akooye tulina standby generator generani mbade manyabe mbale temukimanyi so tulina standby generator wadde bapadde omulimu sigenda kusirika kiri kyekyange.
Being the youth minister, his address focused more on family matters, putting a block emphasis on underaged marriage.
Masolo imira bakulabe oyo director of finance yali alina olubuto naye nga lwaki nemwe mwagala funa mbuto za bwana buto obutaneetuuka so twewale okugabana bafe nga tebanatuuka n'abazadde mwewale okutulugunya abaana abato.
Balamu's address partly changed the topic as almost every speaker rubber-stamped his communication.
So we need to have demonstration projects per district. Bw'oba omwana omugambye nti anti tuleete sente twagala kuyamba abambuzi yali alabyewo embuzi ennungi gye balabirira.
I believe our people have heard. Mbale or Bugisu sub-region is a unique area. Whenever we are in the even year, there are so many girls who get pregnant when they are young, and there are so many boys who drop out of school. And we want to request you, now that you have the mantle, a lot of energy, kindly look at Bugisu sub-region.
Mu savings osanga abachi nga bebasinga abami si kyekyo ne mu kanisa agenda mu kwaya baliwo abasinga naye baba wange tata wange minister Balam bw'ogenda mu prisons ewa mwami Baine osanga abachi basajja bebasinga obungi ewa mwami Baine lwaki abooluganda taata wange azze tegeera nti government
yanyweza nnyo ekikondo ky'abawala. Government has taken many years dealing with girl child, not knowing that these girls will be married these chalice.
The late Richard is a brother to Samuel Masoro, the director in charge of finance at External Security Organization, ESO, where he has also worked until his last brief.
Richard was a member of staff of ESO who diligently served the organization from 1st October 2001 up to the day of his death.
For the Bible says that for no man, whatever way he fears death, there will be no other passport to heaven. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? Wesotinge. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Have you packed more with Harbour jelly and Harbour salt? Yes, we packed. It will protect your skin from skin rashes. Morbid pack. It is a new improved Morbid Harbour jelly. So soft and smooth. It is a Morbid Harbour jelly.
Tell me, kids, the scent. Any irritations? No more rashes and irritations. Movit Harbour Jelly and Harbour Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit all day confidence.
Ebiseera by'okuzzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanyi kuzunga na banka siripsi? Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Attention everyone, the Ministry of Health has planned to vaccinate all persons aged 1 year to 60 years old to protect them against yellow fever disease. The mass vaccination will take place in 53 districts in these regions: Kampala, Buganda, Teso, Ankole and Karamoja. Vaccination is free and available at all government health facilities and outreach posts in these regions. The vaccination campaign will take place from April 2nd to April 8th, 2024. The vaccine is safe, effective and free of charge and has been approved by World Health Organization and Ministry of Health. This message is from Ministry of Health with support from Gavi.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Now, in the world of sports, Uganda's 23-year-old Jacob Kiplimo has ably defended his World Cross Country Championship title with an immaculate run in which he stopped the clock after 10 kilometers in 28 minutes and 9 seconds. This race in Serbian capital Belgrade has set Kiplimo among just 3 men that ever won back-to-back World Cross Country Championship gold medals. That exclusive list includes Ethiopian Kenenisa Bekele and Kenya's Godfrey Kamuor and Paul Terget. Kiplimo's effort anchored Uganda to the men's team silver medal in the race that Joshua Cheptegei finished 6th, Dan Kibet 11th and Hosea Kiplangat 13th. In the individual silver and bronze medals, positions were Ethiopian Berihu Aregawi and Kenya's Benson Kiplangat. From one of the best ever performances at this stage, Uganda finished with 5 medals, with others being silver in the senior men and 3 bronze medals from the junior men and women in the senior women's team event. This became the country's best ever performance for the last years and ended with 5th position in the mixed relay event. And now in soccer, there were wins for Park FC, Edgar's Youth Program, Chisenyi FC and Luzira inside the futsal arena on Thursday and Friday nights respectively, as Match Day 16 produced the best entertainment for the Easter weekend. Have a detailed story.
Edgar's Youth Program beat Kaboa Dream Team by 3-1 on Match Day 16. Their playmaker, Arnold Wadulo, thanks his teammates for their continued hard work.
I'm glad that we have had our win. We have been training so hard so that we get such a win. I'm very grateful with my players whom I played with, my coaches. We have done a very good job. We are glad that we are playing very good, and Edgar's is a very good club.
Kaboa junior team, who surprisingly beat Luzira FC a couple of weeks ago, almost repeated the same fate but narrowly lost to Chisenyi FC by 2-1. Chisenyi believes they were lucky to walk away with the result.
Yeah, we missed a lot of chances and we were almost punished for them. Over 3 times the opponents hit the post. They even had a clear chance on goal, which I think I cleared. I think I cleared 2, and I'm thankful for our keeper. Daira saved us a lot. They got a lot of one-on-ones with him, but he made miraculous saves. KJT is a very good team. You cannot undermine them. If they get you off guard, they will dismantle you.
Park FC extended their lead to 44 points after ripping Mengo City 7-3. Luzira beat Adenel 6-2 and became the first team this season to score 100 goals. Baga Gramen recorded a 3-0 win over Nansana, and Kisugu beat Kawempe 6-1. Now with 6 match days to go, table leaders Park FC will take on Luzira Football Club on Thursday 4th April as the two begin their run-in towards this season's Super League crown. Mashamiro Victor, UBC News.
Futsal football looking likely that tournament I might participate anytime soon. Looks simple, but hey, lots of entertainment right there. Anyhow, thank you for joining us for the 8 o'clock edition of the UBC Business. Look at me, UBC News Tonight. Up next is the weekly business roundup. My name is Wadulo Arnold, and enjoy yourselves.